Hello.
Hey,
We're here.
Episode 760, Brain Candy Podcast.
Woo. And, how you feeling, Sus? It's like
So good.
officially daylight savings time, and I am very happy about it.
I hate daylight savings.
Why? I love it.
What is your problem?
It gets dark soon.
Okay. Yeah.
We get
It's
to
just...
get into coziness soon. Nobody wants it to be sunny and cold.
Right. Okay.
I
hear what you're
want
saying.
Cozy.
I know,
I want
but just
to end
leave
the
it
day
alone.
earlier.
I don't want to change
get
it.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, that is fucked up. There are more heart attacks when daylight savings happens because that
by
throws people
parents
off.
whose kids won't go to fucking bed because we moved the clocks.
Yeah, my dog used to do that. Be like, it's dinner time. Like, no, it's not.
That's the same. That's basically the same as when it wouldn't sleep.
Yeah. I saw a very funny meme that was, or thing on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. It was like boy math, girl math, and then it was dog math. And dog math is very funny. It's like if there are 15 balls out and one of them goes under the couch, there are 0 balls out.
I get that.
I totally do too. Actually, the math that I most agreed with, and it was accurate 100% of the time, was dog math.
Yeah, because where's that ball?
Where's that ball? And if your owner is 2 minutes late for feeding you, it is 2 hours late. If they are 10 minutes late, it is also 2 hours late.
A lot of people that I follow have lost their dogs recently, and I just
this is the thing.
I don't. It's just hard because if you get a dog, you're guaranteed heartbreak. Most likely,
Guaranteed.
What are you
That
gonna
was the
do?
first thing I said when I put Bo down. I was like, never again.
Yeah, because these people are not okay.
And I'm sorry. Maybe I just have never had a cat long enough to feel that way about.
No.
But I just don't feel the same about cats.
It's not the same.
It's not the same, right?
It's not the same. They're glad to leave this earth.
Yeah.
They're like, thank God.
Peace out. Now I get to go where I'm actually worshipped or something like that. I don't know how it is in the afterlife, or maybe we're supposed to worship them here.
It's not the same. I mean, it can be sad and everything. I get it.
Yeah,
please
I totally
don't send
do.
me messages. I
I know
understand.
they're totally going to, but it's different.
It's different. Dogs are people.
Okay, this is no. I can't even say this because people will get mad at me. You know what? I'll say it. I don't even give a fuck. It's that. Here we go. Go ahead at me. I don't give a fuck. What if? No, maybe I'll just pose it as a question, and then they can't get mad. Yeah. What if when I'm in Costa Rica, I can't kill bugs? Not because I'm now I care about. I mean, I've always I care about the bug, but sometimes you just gotta squish a bug. Mm-hmm. I can't because I feel like they're too big and will make too much of a noise and is too much of a mess if I kill them. That's actual I'm gonna see. Shit.
Yeah, the ick factor.
Ick factor is much higher. Do you think it's we care more because it's larger?
No, I don't. I don't think that.
Okay.
I think it's because dogs have.
Because it's hamster.
Oh.
Cat.
Okay.
Dog. And I probably really love a horse. Oh my God.
I think that's a interesting theory, but I don't think that's the reason, because there are small dogs and we love them, and big cats. And it's sad, but they are not the same. Dogs love you. Cats do not give a shit.
They don't give a shit. No, it doesn't matter what the size. This is true. Cat people don't
They're
write
okay.
me.
They're okay. They're very independent. Dogs are not. They are needy. They want to be with you all the time.
Yeah.
Where did you go? Why did you leave me? Mm-hmm. All that stuff. Cats do not feel that way.
No.
We go on vacation and leave our cats. Okay?
Yeah, and they're fine. When you told me to watch your cat, and I was like, this cat does not fucking need me here. This cat is actually annoyed that I am here.
They need food, and that's about it.
Yeah. But I do understand what you're talking about, of the cycle of friends having dogs that are dying at the same time. And this makes sense because it is you just got married, or you just got into you're finally settled into a place you're going to be for a while.
Yeah.
So you get a dog, and that's usually maybe mid-20s.
Yeah, no, it's like a genocide.
And now and maybe like late 20s. And now dogs are RIP.
So RIP all those guys.
Yeah, this is and then they're going to wait a little while because now everybody whose everybody whose dogs are dying have like kids that are about, 5 to 12 years old, and then they have to do the thing of like, no, I want my kids to be old enough to be able to participate in the taking care of a dog. So then you wait till they're about that age, and then you get the second dog, and then that dog is then going to be the dog that the kid takes to college or maybe leaves at home and then comes visits, and then is going to pass away when your kid leaves to college. So get ready to have an empty nest and a dead dog. Sorry.
Yeah, who needs that? I don't need that pain.
Like preparing everybody for what's to come. Or maybe it's like wonderful because it's,
Sorry to interrupt because I know this is your episode and everything. No, but since we're talking about death,
chit-chatting here.
I went to a funeral recently and I just want to ask, why are we still doing like open casket viewing? I do not know why we're doing that in the year of our Lord 2023. It's weird.
This seems like a perfect time for AI to step in.
What should AI do? Like come from beyond the grave and be like, thanks for coming?
Like animate. Like you don't need to like. I don't need to see the dead body, but I would love for them to do like a scan of the face or of the body,
Sarah.
And then have like animation version, like waving at everybody that you can like interact with. That seems very. Don't roll your eyes at me, Suze. That seems very doable. Not. Like you said, in 2020, our year of the Lord.
I'm laughing because how are we at a point technologically where that's possible, and yet the people in the caskets look like melted candles,
right? Because we have to make them look like melted candles because they've been embalmed. They're like not there.
Yeah, how is there no advancements?
We're basically dressing up skin suits. Why are we doing that? Why are we doing that?
You're not understanding, though. I'm saying, like, how are we can create holograms and stuff, but we can't improve the embalming process?
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
No, I feel like that's one of those, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, like the wheel.
It's
like,
broke.
We're not going to, like reinvent the wheel over. If you're looking to like preserve a body, there's like not many ways.
Nobody's
to do it.
Investing in the advancements.
No, they did it. They got it right in I don't know, ancient Egypt, and
we just stuck with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I like this idea though, the AI hologram.
Yes,
like,
I really
hey,
think
everybody.
that's why not? If I could hold my phone up and it could turn me into a unicorn. And like talk with me, then why can't they look? Why can't they? This is very easy to do. This also may be a Black Mirror episode to happen, but that's fine.
I'll tell you what else is fine. And it's way better than the embalming process, and that is Thrive Cosmetics. They should use Thrive Cosmetics.
Oh my gosh! I was just having a long conversation about the benefits of brow gel.
I know you keep talking about it, and I have been noticing your brows.
Aren't they?
No wonder. Good? Yes,
and like I've got really curly hair, so they like go wherever the fuck they want.
Yeah, they're unruly,
and so it lays it down, and now it's like training them, and now I look like I have nice tamed brows. I love it, and it's for a good cause.
I love Thrive Cosmetics for the same reason. They support good causes, but they also have amazing products. They have the semi-permanent smoothing lipstick, which is incredible. The Brilliant Eye Brightener, the Liquid Lash Extensions Mascara, which, as you know, is the only one we will ever use because of how awesome it is and how
only one I will use. I now keep it 3 places in my house because one in my car, one in my bathroom, and then one in my purse, like as in my makeup bag as a spare, because you never know.
Yeah, you never know. And it has flake-free tubing formula.
Oh, so good.
Thrive Cosmetics is luxury beauty that gives back. Right now, you can get an exclusive 20% off your first order at thrivecosmetics.com/braincandy. That's Thrive Cosmetics, CAUSEMETICS.com/braincandy for 20% off your first order. I love it. Their products are outstanding.
So good. Yeah, my whole bag is now turquoise. Okay, so let's start things off this week with something that I promised I would talk about last episode. That is an article that I read in Smithsonian Magazine on how the taste bud... Well, first of all, are you familiar with the taste bud map? Like that map of the tongue that says like...
Of old-timey days.
Like the salty things are in the back. Like we taste sweet in the front and like certain different flavors in different areas. And that's kind of been like the long-term like go-to guide for... I don't know, flavors of the tongue. And that's definitely how I was taught and definitely what I know to be like, oh yeah, like common knowledge. It's absolutely not true.
It's malarkey.
Yeah, it really is true. Like,
but I was taught that too.
And this is what we tend to do and what I find out, what I've gathered over the 760 episodes of this we've done.
Yeah.
That so often with facts or things that we hear, things that are in, I don't know, pop culture, we just accept.
It sounds
forget
right.
It sounds right, right?
Still
and
do.
we even read that book. It was our book club pick, one of your picks a long time ago, that was talking about why those phrases like an apple a day keeps the doctor away are... We just like take that as like, oh yeah, that sounds good. So we're like more likely to believe it.
Yeah.
Like I think about like the 10,000 hour or 10,000 hour. Yes. 10,000 hour thing and 10,000 steps and how like, that's, but no, we just like take these things.
Right. Someone was just selling a pedometer.
Yes. And they're often based on old information too. Like that taste bud map was based on a study and who's really doing studies back in this time? 1901.
Oh man. In between like leeching and bloodletting or whatever.
It's like, oh yeah. Back when they were like sticking things up the brain or like up our nose to like get into the brain and all women were being diagnosed with hysteria. No,
right.
I do not think so.
And also your tongue has a map.
Right. And so this was really interesting. Like it has it basically like all around the outside edges and the corners. And that's like where like the variations are and like the ability to register different tastes come from. But I read this. I'm going to read it to you because this is really interesting. Okay. Let me get my little notes here.
Yeah, it's so silly. And why were people, who cares anyway? Like, why were people so invested in this idea? I did not know.
Yeah, that's another actually really good question of why we care so much and why. I think they were just like, first of all, like discovering flavors and tastes, which is like,
right.
Really?
That was the first time they ever
and by that, I mean like white people were probably discovering flavors and tastes. This was definitely like, whoa, yeah. Spicy. And then a long time later, they were like, umami, and everybody in Asia was rolling their eyes. I'm like,
right.
Oh, okay. Sure. Okay, so it says, our understanding of how taste information is carried from the tongue to the brain shows that individual taste qualities are not restricted to a single region of the tongue. So there are two cranial nerves that are responsible for how we perceive different areas of their tongue. And I will not even try to pronounce this thing because it's like glossopharyngeal. Well, now I'm trying to, but it's a very hard word. Glossopharyngeal nerve or something like that.
Okay.
That's in the, and then there's another one also difficult to pronounce that are connected to different parts of the face. And if tastes were exclusive to these different areas, then you could damage one of these and it would take away your ability to taste like a certain
we should be glad
flavor.
That it's not true.
Correct. But because of that and because they go to different nerves and you can like cut those nerves and we can still taste those things, we're like, no, the taste buds are all over the mouth and people just like accept this stuff and then stop studying it.
This is silly, but you know how like, I think it was saying how it goes up to the brain and then the brain determines what flavor it is or whatever.
Yes.
I wonder like what the map of that is. Is it all in the same spot or is that...
I think just these two. Well, that's actually a really good question. I don't know the answer, but one, I think it was actually, it's funny that you mentioned that because I think it might be Robert Sapolsky in one of his lectures that I listened to where he talked about chocolate or like sweet and how something that is sweet to us tastes sweet, like chocolate is not like or like a chocolate cake is not inherently sweet. It's only our perception of those of glucose molecules.
Because
like
cats
that.
can't taste sweetness.
Right.
I learned that recently, and I thought, well, that explains a lot. They just love that freaking meat real bad.
Now, can dogs? Because
I bet you dogs can. They sure seem like they love it.
Really liked chocolate cupcakes. They do seem like. Is it just?
I think it was,
and it would make sense that a dog who's kind of dependent on humans and has really been domesticated to be man's best friend would develop
our same palate.
Yes, and cats are like, I'll like whatever the fuck I want to like.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And that is meat only.
Yeah. Oh God.
I'll tell you what I like, and that is adorable baby clothes from Caden Lane.
Oh,
I mean, I have, as I mentioned, a new addition to the family. I have a great nephew. My sister is a grandma. And I got a bunch of Caden Lane clothes for Theo.
Oh, I love that name.
And a lot of them are holiday themed because that's adorable. And I got to personalize them.
Oh, cute.
And they're going to the beach in the spring, so I got them like a wetsuit, but for a baby.
Oh,
it's so cute, this stuff. You wouldn't believe it. This company was created by a single mom who wanted to create better and cuter clothes, which, trust me, was necessary.
Yeah.
And they do all the matching stuff, which is like perfect for holiday card. You know, people love that. Oh my God.
I have a friend who has 3 kids and she always dresses them alike. Shout out to you, Megan. They are so stinking cute. I can't even stand it. And they just love dressing alike, especially those 2 little girls. They're so freaking adorable.
So cute. They're buttery soft. They're breathable. But, you know, who cares? They're cute. That's all I care about. Okay. But with the holidays around the corner, it makes a great gift too. So even if you don't have kids, I'm sure you know kids, check them out. Caden Lane is your one-stop shop for all your newborn, infant, and toddler apparel. Head to cadenlane.com/braincandy and use code BRAINCANDY for 20% off your order. Once again, that's CADENLANE.com/braincandy for 20% off, and make sure you use our promo code BRAINCANDY so they know we sent you. Anyway, super cute. You'll love them.
Love it. Okay, so yeah, that was my update on the Tasters map. You can like throw it all out. So it just like when you hear, I feel like, and this is never going to stop for all of time and forever and ever and ever. You know, whenever like there's like a method of how to teach it, like the food pyramid or like this, you know?
Yeah, like shorthand stuff especially.
Like this is a one size fits all. We've simplified it down to just like a pie chart or whatever the fuck. Like that I feel like is when we should be the most skeptical. Like, because I don't feel like there is a one size fits all model for damn near anything.
It's almost like what we were talking about in the last episode about the free will conversation.
Yeah.
Because like in scholarship and amongst these people that can handle that kind of conversation, that's interesting and important to consider. But with dum-dums out that are like driving around that I see in the world, it's like they cannot handle it. So I bet you things like the food pyramid and the 10,000 steps, it's like, just trust us, just do this. It's a tongue map, whatever.
I mean, don't you think this might sound controversial to some people or maybe not to our listeners? Don't you think this is like the Bible and a lot of like religion and guides on how to live? Don't do this with this and a lot of these are just,
I'll tell you what,
for Pete's
as a parent,
sake, these people.
I'm envious of people with a very strong, like, religious point of view, because it is much easier to be able to say to your kid, because God says, than it is for me to be like, here's why we do this.
Yeah, you only could wield that power in like the 2 months before Christmas, and then only from the ages of about 5 till 11, and then it doesn't work anymore.
I mean, the black and white sort of dualistic worldview does come in handy.
Yeah, when we're
it's very easy for people to understand.
That is true. Oh, gosh. There is a
that doesn't mean it's wrong. I'm not saying that.
Right.
I'm just saying it is easier to understand than like nuance and like, well, maybe, and there's a gray area and blah, blah, blah.
And really what we need to learn is how to ask more questions or how to like be, it's like yes-anding. Like, oh, if like it's like a place to start, but like it's so freaking hard. That's as soon as I say that, I'm like, whoa, the general population's just supposed to like know these things.
Busy,
like how?
And life is hard, and
I only know
a lot.
Fucking A. I'm damn near 40 years old, and I only know about the food or the tongue map thing because I host a podcast where I'm like, what interesting thing will I talk about this week?
Right, but at least the tongue map isn't consequential. If you happen to think there is a tongue map or not, it doesn't freaking matter.
Right. Well, it does if you're like going around like talking about how like this is how it is, or like, you know, referencing it, like, oh, you know how you have sawtooth or something like that, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
right.
I like to have the information so I don't sound like a dummy.
Yeah, I get that. But I mean, in terms of what happens if you
right, there's no consequences if you don't know that for sure. Yeah. Okay, let me think. Well, this is something that we thought we knew a lot about, that there are some consequences for. This was an article I read in the Atlantic that was actually really kind of sad. And it was called, these birds got, well, the article kind of sounds funny, but these birds got a little too comfortable in birdhouses. So, yeah. Which, like, first of all, it is hilarious that one of the only animals that build its own house were like, hang on, we got this. Like we went and built them for them.
Yeah.
So
okay.
This purple martin, this kind of that martin bird it's like this bluish swallow that's native to North America, and we started putting out birdhouses, and this bird in particular that is a nest building bird started abandoning its own houses. They started abandoning their own nests for these birdhouses.
This is so relatable.
And it's been happening so much now that, this is funny because remember when
this is probably the smartest bird of all time.
100%. Some of them are like so adorable. They're like multi-stories. And like, you know, like if you happen to live in the neighborhood with like the crafty witchy lady, you're definitely getting like a cool like haunted house, birdhouse. Like it's going to be seasonal.
It's, like,
you basically get like a vacation home.
Yeah. A mansion.
Yes.
Compared to a nest.
Compared to it, that you have to then go and gather all the sticks for. Like the bird's like, oh my God, I'm making a baby and I got to go like fucking build a house.
I am booked solid over here.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm chilling. So these little birds happen to be in the Rocky Mountains too. So when you were telling that story the other week, we were like, oh, this one hits close to home. And I thought you were going to talk about the Rocky Mountain, you know, little purple swallows or whatever, and you took a big detour with dead bodies. I was like, no, not the direction I thought we were going to go.
There's a lot happening in Colorado right now.
So now in this area of the Rocky Mountains where these birds primarily resided, there are now no purple martin colonies that exist outside of these little birdhouses that they have built.
I mean, what do they want us to do about it?
Joe, the president of the Purple Martin Conservation Association.
Oh, Joe.
Okay, so these birds, you know, they're like abandoning their own nests. And at first we're thinking, oh, it's so cute. Like, look at these birds that come over here. And they happen to be like a very docile species of birds. And so they're used for, you know, some of the experiments and things like, I don't know, they're like easy bird to test and easy bird to like track. And so in doing so, they've like built these little homes for them. And even the researchers and the people who are part of like the Conservation Acts, or at least, you know, maybe they're changed their tune now, but they recognize that this is like the complete opposite of what scientists and researchers normally do for wildlife preservation. We do not like step in and go like, hey, us humans, we're going to like here build out, because it tends to have pretty negative consequences. And so now they're stuck in this.
Yeah, like, what's the right answer?
If we stop building the houses for these guys, the entire species will die off. Like this type of bird will die.
Wonder why that bird in particular was like, this is great, I'm doing this.
I think they were kind of like dumb birds. If they're docile, they sound like smart, but also like
lazy.
It's kind of like, I don't know. I feel like, yeah, like, you know, the movie WALL-E?
Like, oh, fine.
Where they're like, hey, just sit here and push these few buttons and we'll give you unlimited soda and all of this you want and you never have to move again. And the people are like, this sounds great. And now then, like, you know, centuries later, they like can't walk and are like,
oh my God,
you know,
yes,
blobs with like their bones floating all like.
Well, I don't think there's any risk though, because everyone's going to keep doing birdhouses. So it seems okay. Like, it's not like everyone's like, okay, everybody, let's get rid of your birdhouses. Nobody's doing that.
Yeah. I think what happened in this specific area, though, like, the researchers built a lot of houses for them.
Well,
that is really... Yes.
Look who's crying now.
Right. This may
because they were like, let's attract the lazy dodos.
Yeah.
And then they backfired. Well, okay.
Yes.
So stop blaming us. Researchers.
The researchers did kind of want to point the finger at, like, it was like, well, you know, there were some like nesting enclosures with the indigenous people, but then, you know, the Europeans came along and they really cemented the Martin's preference for the houses that the Europeans built. Like, basically, we colonized birds too.
Right. Listen, they're pointing
Where
the
does
finger.
it end?
Well, they need to be held accountable.
Yeah. So they might be like RIP soon because there aren't very many of them around, and it says that the community that they lived in for the purpose of they called the places that the people who are like running the houses of them, they call them like landlords for these birds. They're like the birds' landlords.
Bird landlord.
A majority of them are over the age of 50. And so once these like birdie landlords are gone, maybe so will the purple martins, and it will be our fault.
Whoa.
I mean, it's usually our fault, but this one you can you can point to each step of the way where humans kind of, you know, fucked it up.
Well, I'll tell you what's thriving, and that is my eyelashes, thanks to apostrophe.
Ooh, I love a long lash.
I was listening for things we got wrong. I was listening to an old episode of Brain Candy where I was talking about using Latisse.
Yeah.
Which is the stuff you put on to make your eyelashes grow. Mm-hmm. I was like, man, I have been using apostrophe, the service apostrophe, for so long. And this service is great because this is like dermatology. This is like whatever your needs are, like acne stuff, big time. The stuff
that in so many other places is not as difficult to get as this. But in the United States, like, you need a prescription.
It's such a pain in the butt.
The doctor, it's like, oh my God, now you got to, for some of us, you have to go to your GP, and then they have to refer you to dermatologists.
No, thanks.
Oh, I do not have time for this. Thank you very much.
No. So you can get treatment for acne and stuff, like hormonal, facial, back, chest, like butt, whatever.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to go anywhere. So you have your consultation online, and you snap a few selfies, and then the dermatologist will tell you what you need, and you can just get it sent to you. It's so great. Reduce dark spots, improve your skin texture, take care of that acne, whatever you need. we have a special deal for our audience. Get your first visit for only $5 at apostrophe.com/braincandy when you use our code braincandy. That's a savings of $15. This code is only available to our listeners, but it's also a savings of way more if you've ever been to the doctor and you know how much it costs.
Yes. Oh my God.
To get started, just go to apostrophe.com/braincandy and click get started. Then use our code braincandy at sign up and you'll get your first visit for only $5. Thank you, Apostrophe, for sponsoring this episode and for being awesome. I love you and I have loved you for so long. Okay, go ahead.
I think I'm finally at the time where I need to start using something for like spots.
Oh, no. Sun damage. Well, hey, that makes it easy.
Wow. Okay, so let's talk about another story I read. This one came out a while ago, but then led me to like a deep dive of other. It's kind of creepy, but here we go. Did you see that there was a wild bear that was caught at Disneyland?
No.
Oh. How did you miss this? This was back in September. Okay. And this was in Florida.
Oh, Disney World.
Disney World.
Okay.
Yes, Disney World.
No, I didn't see it.
You know, it's funny that you say that because I actually had to look at two different articles to verify which one, because the map that they showed, and then they showed like the areas that the bear went to in the park, looked so similar to the Disneyland in California. I was like, I wonder if their layout is similar or different.
Yeah.
And then they started talking about rides, and I was like, wait, I don't know that one. So then I put together Florida.
Yeah.
Also, it said the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission was the one.
If I would have guessed, though, where a bear would end up, I would have guessed Disneyland, not Disney World.
I would have too, Susie. Like that, 100%. But could you guess which rides he went on? Or what areas of the park he went to? Because this to me is kind of fun. It's like exactly where you thought he would go.
Small World?
No, less, like most obvious.
Like Splash Mountain.
Yeah. And the Jungle Cruise.
The Jungle Cruise. I should have had that. That's
I don't blame
funny.
them. Jungle Cruise, Pirates of the Caribbean, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Basically right around the Country Bear Jamboree.
Stop.
I'm not being funny. I am merely reporting the facts. He was like probably looking for food.
There's no way he's like riding them though, obviously.
Well, okay, I love that you needed like are you imagining him riding them though?
I mean, you sort of wanted me to picture that.
I totally didn't.
But you said
like
what rides?
Because what? How else would you say that?
Well, like, what is he doing with the rides?
Walking behind them,
walking by
them. But like, how else would I say which areas of the park he visited, which rides he went on?
Okay.
I know he didn't like.
I shouldn't accuse you
las sentados, por favor. Like he's not like.
I just think it's so cute. I wish he were riding. Is all. Like a fast pass. Can you imagine how cute that is?
And then like what would be cuter is if they had like the how tall you must be to ride, and he like stood up on his little back bear, and then like somebody would be like, "Is that a person in a bear suit?" And the whole thing.
Right. Did he go to Animal Kingdom?
He went to Magic Kingdom.
Yeah. Okay. The traditional.
Maybe they didn't have Animal Kingdom there. It was only Magic.
How did he get in, do you think?
Must have gone through obviously, he didn't buy a ticket.
What, like back entrance?
Yeah, it's like those prices.
What if he went in like the character entrance? Like,
my God, that is so funny. See, Disney's really missing an opportunity to write a whole children's book.
I know,
about like a fun. You remember that like Carl Goes Shopping or Carl's Big Adventure? Did you ever know those books? Mm-mm. Oh, they were my favorite. Okay, so it's like about a Rottweiler that babysits a little girl, which already. Why are parents putting the Rottweiler in charge of babysitting? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But she they lived in a fancy house, so I guess it's okay. And like the little baby like crawls on the back of the Rottweiler, and the Rottweiler's name is Carl, and the mom goes like, "Good dog, Carl," and then the baby crawls on the back of the dog, and then they like go on an adventure around the city. And then they come home and like all, misadventures, baby's like wandering off, basically like Carl's like making sure baby doesn't get into any like trouble. And then when they get home, the baby's like in the crib and mom comes by and goes, "Good dog, Carl." And it's so cute. And
I mean, it's like a felony though.
Yeah, well, yeah, but like doesn't make for an adorable.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
Was this just flying solo? A one-seater?
Oh, the bear? Yes. The bear was just flying solo. It was just like on the lookout for food. I'm sure this is like what happens when we, move into bear territory. But it does feel like wherever like Disney World would be, it does feel very residential, like, or very, not residential, but like businessy. Like I would imagine it's surrounded by, even if it were California, you'd have to cross a couple freeways.
Have you never been to Disney World? That's what I'm learning from this conversation.
Never, ever. But I would love to.
Yeah,
I would like to go to Epcot. Like, I want to go to
Epcot is my favorite.
That seems very fun.
It's so fun. But it's not worth the crowds. Other humans, not fun.
Yeah, but I don't mind going on days like great days to go. Super Bowl Sunday. When it's raining, if you don't mind that. Like those kind of like...
You told me Mother's Day and Father's Day were prime.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
Wow.
On an episode.
Sarah. Okay.
I really I internalized that. Mm-hmm.
There you go. Mother's Day and Father's Day. Good days to go.
You wouldn't think, though. You would think that would be...
You wouldn't think.
Yeah. It's emptier.
But it'll probably be like a lot of those Disney families. Like those people who are like...
The diehards.
Maybe they're fun.
That's
they're in costume. They make it a good time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I always think, because you know how Dahlia and my brother and his family are Disney people.
Yeah, they're employed by Disney. They live
there. Yeah, they're right. And Dahlia is so cute. She always, they call it Disney bounding.
Yes.
Yeah, she bounds. Yeah. Where they like, you dress normal in normal street clothes, but it's like a nod to.
Yes.
Like,
because they don't allow adults to dress up in costume.
I did not know that.
Yeah, because they don't want you to confuse them with the characters, with the people who are like, because what if everybody came in dressed up like fucking, I don't know, Ariel, and then Ariel's walking around trying to like...
Wow, so they would turn you away at the door? I did not know this.
So that's why the Disney bounding thing started, because it's a way
I thought they were just trying to be subtle.
Like the character without violating like you can't wear a costume thing.
Wow.
Yeah, but Disneyland capitalized on that, and then at least the one in California, in like the Disney Walk right outside the park, they started like a whole store, like a retail store where you can go buy like Disney bound clothing and everything. So it used to be like all people who are like seamstresses and like wonderful. What do you call them? Sewists. Sewists, like who were like sharing, DIY, like how to make it yourself. Like everybody was like, it was like crafty world, and then like Disney was like, or buy it for $150 and give us more money.
Well, I like Dahlia because she's creative and she just uses what she already has.
It's very cute. I like that stuff. Yeah, I do that whenever I go to like a Pixar movie, or I did that when I would say I Disney bound as a Toy Story character when I went to like Pixar Putt Putt. Like,
what did you wear?
I would say it was more like what's her name? The little girl who ends up getting the toys, like overalls and the shoes. Then the shoes had like Andy written on the bottom. They're like really my Toy Story Vans.
Yeah.
So, whatever that little girl's name was. Like,
oh, that's great.
It's cute. See, so I like that
creative.
Kind of stuff. It is. It's so fun.
I bet that bear didn't put in that kind of effort. I love it. I love an adventurous bear. I'll tell you what else I love, and that is Babbel language learning. They make it super easy. I'm working on my Portuguese, and it feels fun and like I'm learning very fast. It's crazy.
Maybe you're like me and you have it in your head that like learning another language was a struggle because high school Spanish went muy
it was
mal.
Drudgery. Muy mal. Yes, it did. It's not a fun time. And I've been using Babbel to learn Portuguese, and I thought,
oh yes,
why is this going like I just feel like I'm going through it quickly. And then I saw that one study found that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a full semester at college.
Okay.
That's
easy.
Yes. So this is real language learning for real conversations. It does feel easy. It just feels like, okay, yeah, I'm getting somewhere. And then I was like, how is this so much better than when I was in university? Anyway, they're quick 10-minute lessons designed by language experts, but you are listening to native speakers, so you actually hear how it's supposed to sound. You get tips and tools, and they have a special for us. Here's a special deal for our listeners. To get you started right now, get 55% off your Babbel subscription, but only for our listeners at babbel.com/braincandy. Get 55% off at babbel.com/braincandy, spelled BABBEL.com/braincandy. Rules and restrictions may apply. I think you will love it. It is so great.
And like,
so
I feel
impressed.
like New Year's is coming up, and maybe you give like time for like start goals and resolutions and stuff.
Please
give yourself like a little head start, and then it won't feel like a resolution if you like.
Yeah, I always see
just continue doing what you're doing.
I always see Babbel in the Pump Club. They work with Pump Club, and that because Arnold's always saying you have to have goals, you have to work towards something, and learning language is such an important way to work your brain. Blah blah blah. You get it.
Yes. Also in the Arnold Monday motivation or morning motivation Pump Club. What the hell do you call that thing? Subscription?
Newsletter.
Thank you. I'm like, what's the word I'm looking for? They were talking about the dangers of over drinking and consuming too much alcohol. Mm-hmm. And that reminds me of an article I read on how a lot of places, especially in California, that offer bottomless brunch are starting to charge a fee if you puke.
No, I didn't think you were going to say that. I thought you would say, like, if you stay too long, like if you're there for like more than 3 hours.
They're cutting down on the time for sure.
Maybe just don't do bottomless booze.
Yeah. So a lot of places, there's actually a lot of states that have outlawed this, that have made consuming unlimited quantities of alcohol for a specific amount of time. You can't do that. And a lot of places have, they water them down. They do different tricks. They, especially if they do the carafe or if they like leave the bottle on the table. You guys, if you watch the video version of this, you can see Susie like giving kisses to her bottle of wine there. Like, not you, bottle of wine. We're talking about champagne, cheap champagne. So there are a lot of places that, like a lot of states where this is not even legal. But some places started at first, like there was one, like restaurant owner that was interviewed for the article that said they started with like a 2-hour bottomless and then it went to like an hour and a half. And now it's an hour. I think it's now like an hour and 15 minutes or something like that for theirs.
That seems like a dumb idea anyway. That encourages drinking fast.
Yeah, drinking fast. And I think you can slow it down if they bring the glass to the table. But they said in the article, especially, they called it brunch moms and people in their 20s don't know how to behave at bottomless brunch. And we're often puking in public places where then they would have to clean it up. And so now in the same way that like Lyft and Uber will charge you a fee, if you like a cleaning fee, if you throw up in their car, the brunch places will charge you a fee.
I do not understand this.
People puking or the charges?
Just like people.
Yeah.
Why would you even want to do that? I've even gotten to that. I've only ever gotten to that point, I think maybe 2 times in my life, maybe only once. And it's not pleasant. Why would you want to do that on a Sunday at noon?
I think it may be accidental and it's
yeah, but like you'd have to get to a point where it can happen.
Yeah. Oh, I remember when I graduated grad school and we had a like family dinner. And I remember.
Did you say grad school?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We had dinner and both my brothers were there. And my then husband was like, you guys can get whatever you want to drink.
Oh, no.
And both of their eyeballs went huge. And they were like, whatever we want. And they had like such an open bar all weekend. And they had not been used to that. And they had not experienced, like they were like new to drinking. And it's like we're too excited. It's like telling a kid like you can eat as much candy as you want, and like guaranteed 100% are puking because you ate too much candy and like don't know how to cut yourself off.
Your brothers together are quite a dynamic duo.
Oh my God, they're so funny.
Because on your wedding day,
yes,
there was some concern of whether we'd even find them. You may recall we went looking in a golf cart.
Yep.
For them.
And like security was looking for them as well.
They're very naughty.
They are naughty.
Oh my God.
Well, they were. They've since.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Been a minute. They've cleaned up their act. They are adults and grown ups. We were all.
Well, that's the thing. We're talking about moms. You said
right.
Mom.
That is
embarrassing.
Yeah, I remember. I have seen these moms where they don't get out much.
I don't like it one bit. I think they actually do get out a lot, Sarah.
I agree. As soon as I said that, I was like, you know what?
The ones I've seen are ones that are like, what? And they have like a nanny and stuff. Like these are not
they never stop being woo girls and like partying.
Yeah. That's my experience.
Yeah, actually, I think you're right. Maybe they weren't going out, but they were definitely doing that in too. Like just, Got it.
I'm not into that scene at all.
Yep. Did I already talk
real
about
judgy there?
Yeah, that's fine. We could be judgy.
Thank you. Okay.
Well, yeah. Clearly, they're charging him for it. So we're just like calling them as we see them. Really.
I mean, like, okay, but
we're on the side of the restaurants and the people cleaning up.
No, I'm not, because they shouldn't even offer that.
Right. Got it.
What
but they're
are you
like
doing?
Trying to get people in the door, and that champagne is shit.
But they shouldn't even be. They created this mess.
Yeah, that's true.
I
don't see that many places anymore. I see like carafes of, it'll be like $34 for a carafe of like, like a mimosa, and then like different little mix-ins or whatever flavors. But I haven't seen maybe I'm just not going to bottomless brunch places.
Right.
I'm like, ugh, I don't want that.
Yeah, because you're not a wine mom.
Yeah, correct. One more story before we wrap up. Did I already talk about robo-taxis?
No.
No, clearly not. Okay. So
robo-taxis.
Yes. This is now officially being launched in Los Angeles. It is a company called Cruise that is letting driverless cars go, like basically be like driverless Ubers.
You don't like this idea?
Well, I do like this idea. I'm super excited about a future where I don't have to drive and I get to do crossword puzzles everywhere I go. I'm so excited. Like this will be a game changer for me. I'll be doing my makeup in the car. I'll be doing crossword puzzles. I'll be doing it's like having a train, like being on a train. I loved living in San Francisco and taking a train to work and getting time to like do my own thing, on the ride. This made me giggle though, because like any new, I don't know, thing, there are bugs to work out.
Yeah.
And the article that I was reading on this said that, first of all, driverless cars are involved in, like, first some good news before the silly stuff. Driverless cars are involved in 65% fewer collisions than human drivers in comparable driving environments. But that was also research that was released from the Cruise company. So I'm like, we'll wait until there's outside,
yes,
research being done. Yeah, independent research. But the article also said that Cruise has had a few rough patches in the past few months. A cruise car drove into wet cement. Another one collided with a fire truck. And, this is not so good. A pedestrian was pinned under a vehicle earlier this month after it was initially hit by a human-driven car. And then the cruise tweeted about the account of the crash, and their vehicle braked aggressively to minimize the impact. And at the request of the police, the vehicle was kept in place. But this is where it's like, had a human been there, we would have been able to see, don't keep the vehicle in place. There's a human stuck under it. But because we're like relying on data from a machine, it's like, keep the vehicle in place until the police get there. Meanwhile, it's squishing someone. I don't think so. They didn't say that they died. Yeah. And so it says in August, they had launched in California and have now they're like, basically like beta testing this in Los Angeles. That seems like not a good city to test it in, though. Have you driven? That is an aggressive driving city.
Yeah, but it's slow going in a lot of places. Maybe that'd be good because it's like inching.
Yeah,
along.
It is. Oh God!
I'll tell you,
traffic was already bad, and now I got to be like merging with a
robot.
Robot.
I want robots in other industries. I want robot hairdressers.
Oh, yeah. They have that robo haircut thing.
What's that? Oh, the Flowbee?
I think something like that. I think it's like an AI thing where you can go in and it cuts your hair. And they have a manicure one too.
Yeah.
They have them at Targets now.
Okay. Wow. Wherever you are,
it's called like a 10-minute man, and like I've seen that. I think I've seen.
Is that on TikTok? You've seen
maybe, probably.
Okay,
probably not even real.
Not in real life.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
I can't remember.
I want a hairdresser, robot, silence, please, and basically anywhere where they'll be like, "You doing anything fun this weekend?" Anywhere that happens,
okay, so taxis.
I want taxis.
Yeah.
Hairdressers. Dental hygienists. Zip it, lady. Just get to work in there. I don't want to hear you asking me questions that I can't answer.
Yeah, I don't want to be asked questions.
You're in my mouth.
But if you want to talk to me, that's fine.
No, I don't want to hear it either.
Okay.
I'm going night-night.
I definitely don't want to just sit there.
I meditate.
Oh.
I do. I do.
Good on ya.
Well, because I don't like that experience, so I try to go somewhere else,
That's good. That's good.
And then she's like, "You going to watch the Steelers? Shut up, Bethany."
Yeah. Yeah, I want like more human connection in like places where I'm like, I want it. Like I want more therapy, more
good.
like,
Doctor's great.
Yeah. But less
I
in small talk situations.
Yeah. Doing anything fun this weekend needs to be outlawed. Death penalty. Yeah. Stop asking me that. Do you want to tell me about your weekend? Go ahead. Sorry.
This is I just have a very funny story to tell you that, so remember how I told you a little while ago, I think I said it on here, that I realized now that I have a bad habit of trapping people at social gatherings. And then, so I had like many social events this weekend, like 4 different big events to go to.
Okay, so you
meeting all new people. Okay, so much small talk.
How'd it go,
Susie? I used that. I thought the best thing to do is disclose and just be open and like talk about it and communicate. Mm-hmm. So I was talk with like a few different people, and then I said, you know what? I've been told multiple times that I have a terrible habit of trapping people and just talking their ear off all night long. So, feel free, go mingle. Every time I was taken up on the offer. I think there was like one person who was like, "Oh no, I'm cool." They were all like, "Yeah, I'll go. I'll find you later." And
Sarah.
I was like, "Wow, I am the talk."
I can't believe it.
I don't know how to have small talk. I don't know. I'm small, medium only. Just like
this
you say.
Is wild. I thought you were going to say that they were all like, "Oh my gosh, no!"
Like one of them was, because she and I like genuinely
many?
like really Like 4.
So the other 3 were like, "Oh, okay, well, thanks."
Yeah.
And then they,
but not like thanks. They were like, yeah, we'll catch up later. Like, oh, I'll go. Like, I was like, yeah, I'll go bebop around.
I appreciate that they knew how to,
Yeah, they were like, fine.
Take you up on it because that's what you were offering.
Yeah.
But what were you talking about? That like
fucking everything. I don't know. Who knows? What am I ever talking about? Fucking bears at Disneyland and
when we're together in Denver, I'm gonna use it somewhere and we'll see what happens.
Okay. Like see if there's a general response to this, that this is like, okay. But I feel like,
what if everyone then they think you want to get out of it, and so they'd make,
I know, that's like that. What if that's it? What if it's like back, right. There's so many questions. We have to do more experiments. And
I can't believe it. This is so like, great.
Maybe, I don't know.
You're so great. I think that's really cool, though, that you identified something you thought was a problem.
I think I'm doing this.
Work to fix it, and then now we just have to figure out if the response was appropriate.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to keep it. But then I was thinking maybe it's like, when somebody is on the phone and you can sense that they're like wrapping up, and they were just picking up, like, I'm wrapping up, they're wrapping up, we're all wrapping up.
To get out of here.
I'm like,
how many minutes would you say before you would offer that? Were you doing it?
More than 5.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's a long time. And then if you do math on like how long the actual event is, okay, like say it's a...
Was it more than 10?
More than 10 minutes?
Yeah, maybe more.
Susie, I couldn't even tell you, like, how long is a piece of string? I don't know.
Like you lose track of time.
Yeah. Oh. Time blindness is one of the hallmarks of, like, meds have
it could have been 5 or
off.
25 minutes. We don't know.
Totally. Yeah. I just heard on Wait, Don't Tell Me that there's this new, like, AI that some companies are using that analyze meetings, like your Zoom meeting, and will give you a summary, like, will give each participant a summary of, like, their participation and essentially tell you how annoying you were being. It'll tell you how much you interrupted, how much you participated.
I'm excited for this.
I don't want a report of it. Could you imagine then what's next? Eli's going to be like, how do I get this in real life? How do I get something that like clocks how much she interrupts? You are. Well, yeah.
You interrupt a lot, but you're also very, very fun.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
I mean, we all have the balance sheet there.
Pluses and minuses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yes, you might.
I will trap you in a conversation all night, but it'll be a good one.
But it'll be hilarious.
Yeah, but I will give you a few anecdotes to take to your next party. Feel free to use this when you trap somebody for 5 to 10 minutes. ?
All right. Well, we'll see what happens. Let's wind it down.
Whew, wow. Talked about
it feels
bears,
like ages ago that we talked about when
birds.
Dogs die. We talked about a lot of animals.
Oh, we did. We talked about a lot of animals.
That tracks with like your interests.
Yeah, it really does. I haven't even been watching a lot of animal documentaries, so I don't know what's up. But we talked about Bottomless brunch, people puking.
Those are animals too. That's fucking weird.
Those are fucking animals.
Get a hold of yourselves, people.
And maybe, do we need birds' nests? Yes, but should we? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the answer there,
either.
Actually. I really don't.
Because if you've seen a bird's nest, I don't know how they survive.
What's next? We build dams? Take all the... I'm just kidding.
Right. I seriously, when I see a bird's nest in a tree, I'm like, how do those guys last through a storm? Have you ever been in a storm?
Right.
It's terrible.
I think a lot of them don't, so...
And never mind.
All right.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Okay, bye.